A woman should be who and what she wants. We support the multifaceted woman. The woman embracing many titles, undertaking different ventures, and building generational wealth. You are a Jackie of all trades, master of your empire. Enterprise Empress, you are an unstoppable force. Welcome back, Empresses. And thank you for tuning into another episode of the Today's Jackie Show. I'm Sharon E. Coleman.
I'm Natalie Rowe.
And I'm Neidy Hornsby.
And we're your co-hosts for today's show. The reason we call this the Today's Jackie Show, because we interview women who are Jackie of all trades, master of their empire.
Right, these are multifaceted women, right? Women from the community who wear many titles, they're undertaking many ventures, and they're building generational wealth.
Bosses.
Boss ladies.
And I couldn't think of a better way of doing this show than to start off Black History in a Black-owned salon.
Right.
Yes.
Talking all things hair.
Yes.
So this is the best way to kick off the month.
Yes.
And it's all Black business owners.
Right.
Yeah,
Female.
Yes.
Female. Yes. Everybody in this room is actually a Black business owner.
And a Black female.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's
Almost everybody. Almost everybody's female, but everybody here is a business owner.
Well, we're highlighting a particular woman in the room.
This is cool.
Our today's Jackie is Latoya Stirrup. She is co-founder and co-owner of Kazmaleje, now located in Target. Woo! Welcome, Latoya, to the show.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here with you fabulous ladies.
Thank you very much. So, Latoya, we know why we call you a Jackie, right, of all trades. Can you share some of your titles with us?
You already said some of them. Co-founder, CEO, legacy builder, mom,
Yes.
entrepreneur, strategist, producer, writer, speaker, blogger, podcaster, co-host. I'm sure I forgot some. A cat mom now. I used to be a dog mom, now I'm a cat mom.
That's
And the
a whole
list goes on.
Did you say sister and daughter?
I did not. Right. Sister and daughter.
Why did she pass sister and daughter? Because behind the scene, her sister and her mom is here in the house. So this is multifaceted women supporting multifaceted women.
Absolutely.
Behind the scenes and on the camera. So, yes.
Yes.
So let's get into some of the questions, because I know people want to know, just like first, how did you come up with Kazmaleje? We know that it's spelled uniquely, but does it have a unique meaning? Or?
It does.
Well, how is it spelled so that people
Spell
can
it,
find
right.
you?
Right. So it's the phonetic spelling. So it's Kazmaleje. And so, Neidy, you will actually appreciate this. So how we got to Kazmaleje was actually twofold. One was an IP issue, right? So whenever you're coming up with a new business, the first thing that I usually do is I go to GoDaddy and I try to see what URLs already taken.
Brilliant.
Right.
So I put them in, I'm like, oh shoot, that's gone. I can't use that one. And I just kept going down the list. And what inspired me, I was thinking about brand names that are kind of give you a sense of a feeling and allows room to grow and is not so specific. I didn't want to use something that was like curls or something related to hair, because to me the vision was bigger than that. So I wanted something that kind of embodied an essence. So I was thinking about anthropology and all these other names where you think about the store, you kind of go in and you know what the store is, but it doesn't speak to directly what's in the store.
Right.
And then I just stumbled upon Kazmaleje because to me that deals with what creation is. When you think about Kazmaleje, we all have our own sort of origin stories about the universe and how it was created. And to me, entrepreneurship is one of the ways to be a creator, right? If you're a mom, you're a creator in that way, but this is all about innovation and creation.
Yeah.
So that idea of universal creation is what we funnel into how we develop our products. So that's how Kazmaleje came to be.
You better come through. She definitely understood the assignment.
I love it. So tell us a little bit, for those who aren't familiar with Kazmaleje, what Kazmaleje is, what your brand is. Tell us a little bit.
So Kazmaleje is a company that I started with my two sisters to basically solve our own problem. We were tired of long wash days, excessive breakage while detangling our hair, and hair tools that just didn't seem to work. And at the time, I went natural in 2008. And shortly after that, we started to see brands come out on the market, right? You started to see like Shea Moisture, Miss Jessie's, a lot of the OGs from on the, you know, in terms of Target and like Walgreens, etc. But something was still missing in terms of my wash day experience. And then that's when it kind of hit me. I think I was probably in the shower. That's how ideas come to me. I'm either driving or I'm in the shower. And I was just kind of contemplating my wash day, and it was like, what if it's the tools? Like, what if literally the tools that we're using just aren't made for textured hair? And then immediately I saw something, and I reached out to a friend of mine, a fellow business owner friend of mine, and I was like, hey, I got this idea. Can you sketch it for me? So he did a 2D sketch because my background is advertising. He's a graphic designer, and I was like, can you sketch it for me? So then I took the 2D sketch to a 3D printer and had a prototype done. And then so late night, once I had the 3D printed prototype, I did like a split test on my hair. And I used like a regular wide tooth comb that I already had in my closet, compared against our prototype. And it was like astonishing. And I remember I sent my sisters a text. I was like, y'all, look at this. This actually works. I think we have a business. So that was like late 2015. And then in 2016, May is when we incorporated, and we just kept moving from there. And we launched the products on the market in 2019.
And you're in Target.
Yeah.
Like, just like that.
You're in Target. I love how you explain the process of creating a prototype and a product in your, you know, in your answer, because I'm sure there are empresses out there who have ideas and are like, how do I go about doing this? So,
Right.
I actually have a question related to the fact that you went with tools, right? Because you mentioned a lot of the products that were on the market already, those big name brands, and they weren't doing tools, right? So you're coming to the scene with a complete different model. You have no real model to follow, right? So how you overcame the fear of being one of the few in that space. So talk to us a little bit about that mental journey.
So mental journey. So actually, Kazmaleje was not like my first entrepreneurship attempt.
Okay.
I will say that I've retired like 3 times. This just happened to be the 3rd time, the last time. But I'm, like I said, I'm one of those people where ideas just kind of come based off of like pain points. So it's always trying to like solve something. I remember one of my first ideas actually was like period underwear. Not because of a situation that I had, but
that's me.
Right. So cramping and everything. And this was like earlier on, and I was trying to solve it. And I just happened to let it go. This was before any of the period underwear that exists now were on the market. And I just kind of like abandoned it and let it go. But this one, for some reason, it stuck. Probably more so because it was a problem that I had.
Right.
So there was a passion point and a drive for it. But in terms of sort of overcoming it and moving forward, it literally was because I knew that I was solving, or I knew that we were solving something that other people were struggling with. And then also what happened is that once we had our prototypes and we were about to get into manufacturing, we did like a crowdfunding campaign on iFund Women. And then we started to go to different expos and exhibits, and we were the only ones selling hair tools. You had tons of vendors selling products, but we were the only ones there, and people were in line to pre-order from us, and we hadn't even had the tools
And riches
yet.
are in niches, right? So you're the only one there. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I think that was where it was like, this could really, really work. And because, and I will also say this, is that once we got our first shipments out in January of 2019, the emails started coming in immediately with women like, oh my gosh, you have literally changed the way I wash my hair. It's no longer something where I'm like, it's wash day. It's like, no, it's wash day. I can get through it in like 10 minutes. I don't have a whole lot of hair.
That is like unheard of.
We have one of our favorite influencers. She actually started out as a customer first, but then she became one of our affiliates. And she's done tons of like YouTube challenges where she detangles her entire head of hair in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's advertising
I need
for sure.
to know where I can find that YouTube video, because it takes me way longer than 10 minutes. And I didn't even think of a tool until I heard about your product.
Right.
Yeah, the thing I like with the brush is the handle. That's the thing that caught my attention, because with the handle, you can section off your hair and detangle it. And that's always the hardest part, especially in the back, because you can't see it and you're trying to figure it out with your finger. I thought that was genius.
Thank you. you.
So people are not going to understand that until they see it. So continue watching the show because we're going to demonstrate that for you.
That's coming. It's coming. I jumped ahead a little bit. I just wanted to make sure I told you that. I thought that was genius.
And to that point, we wanted to solve for that too, with it being kind of a multifunctional hair tool. So that way you're not having to like switch between tools. It saves you time.
Right.
And it also just keeps your fingers cleaner.
Right.
So you're not like doing like this and it's getting all caught up in your gel manicure and
the most brilliant ideas always come from a personal issue that you're trying to solve.
Right. Something that you need to fix at home, right? It's like you might as well monetize it.
Right.
Right.
But not many of us follow through with the process that she just
or even understanding what the process is. So my guess is your background in marketing and advertising helped you understand what steps to take.
So my background, I was on the account services side. So it was like account management, project management, production. So I've always been in digital advertising, even before brands wanted to put like the URL at the end of their commercials. So I'm like that era of digital where we built.
The dial-up era?
Not almost. Listen, it was there when I was in college. But in the era where we built websites in Flash, PHP, like we built things. So the idea of working with teams from ideation to like planning and strategy to design, development, and launch, I've done that a million times over. So I basically just took that same framework and applied it to this. It's the same concept, but now we're just dealing with something that's tangible versus like a digital website or an app on Nickelodeon or whatever.
That's really cool.
And I heard you mention legacy builder.
Yes,
like, what does that mean to you?
I love that title.
Yes, we do. Our slogan is multifaceted woman wearing many titles, undertaking many ventures, and building generational wealth.
Absolutely.
So when you say legacy builder, is that right in line with the generational wealth that you're doing with your sisters?
With your sisters.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. And I will say a lot of that is because of the legacy that has always been a strong part of who I am. With my great-grandfather's like legacy, or my great-grandparents' legacy in the Grove, and what they've done from like being affordable housing developers in the like late 1800s and early 1900s. So that idea of building with family and creating things is what I know. And it just makes sense. And knowing that you're always building for that next generation, you're building for who's to come. So like my son, he's as old as the business is. So he only knows me.
They're siblings.
They are. The business was born in May. He was in November. And so he's only seen this aspect of it. So he's there when we're packing out boxes. He sees the products on the shelf. He sees when I go on HSN. So that's all that he knows.
There's no better gift though than him seeing you hustling, working for yourself. Like that, you can't buy that anywhere.
So tell us, how is it working with your sisters? We all have sisters.
Right.
And that can be a very interesting
dynamic.
And we've become sisters.
Sisters, right. Like with all the things that go with being sisters, right? So how is it to work, and not just work with, but own business with your sisters?
It works because even though we're very similar in certain ways, we're very different in other ways. So for instance, logistics, that's Latrice. That's not shipping, customer service, that's her lane, that's not mine. I'm here, this is what I do. I do production, project management type stuff. And then my sister Latasha, she's actually a licensed cosmetologist. So she kind of brings that aspect to it, and she also is the one that's kept up the most with art and like drawing and things. So early on, she's the one who did like our flyers and all of our social graphics and things like that. So we kind of have our own sort of niche, and we kind of come together and make it work.
So you utilize each other's strengths to be able to work well together.
Exactly.
Okay, now Neidy, we playing a game today?
Yeah, we are playing a game, and I'm super, super excited because I really want to hear everybody's answer to this question, but we'll start with you, Latoya.
Okay.
Tell me who your natural hair crush is.
So
and why?
My natural hair crush is Viola Davis, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Good one.
I loved it when she was Annalise and she took the wig off and just exposed that experience that we know as black women,
right.
but they didn't know. And I feel like she uses her hair in a very like thoughtful way. Every time she shows up, she's worn her short TWA teeny weeny afro, for those who may not know the acronym. She's worn it on the red carpet. She uses it in a very like thoughtful and intentional way. So I love her for that. I think it's awesome.
Good.
So I
What's
thought about
yours?
that. Definitely emotional.
That's a good one.
Hands down, Yaya.
Yeah.
Oh my
Her
God!
big
Have
hair
you
is
guys
awesome.
seen her in the new show
Oh,
on Hulu?
My Kind of People.
Yes. You can't tell me
Yeah.
she is not the epitome
That's a good
of
one.
just
Yeah.
like
Her
black
hair's gorgeous.
queendom.
Yeah.
Yeah. her
I
hair is awesome.
love how they represent her in that show in her hair. It just makes me want to embrace and love my hair even more, and then feel the beauty of it. You know,
Yeah.
she every time she does something different with her hair, you feel beautiful just looking at her. You're like, oh, you better get it, girl. I love it. Who's yours?
Cool. So I'm going back, right?
Oh Lord.
Come on.
Do you guys remember Living Single?
Uh-huh.
Erica Alexander,
Yep.
Max
Yes.
on the
Okay,
show.
yes.
Max.
Yes,
Max
Max
was the
remains.
first person
Yeah.
I remember, woman of color with locks
Yeah.
on TV, and it was okay. Like even in anything public, not just on TV, other than Whoopi.
Yeah.
But her locks and Whoopi's are totally different styles.
Mm-hmm.
But Max was the first one that made it okay to
I think
have
she made
locks.
it cool.
and
Yes.
fashionable. Because she
I-
would
yeah,
wear them
I
in
know.
different
Because she had
styles.
them in different styles, and she was a professional.
Yeah, she put it
because
in
there
a
was
certain
always
way.
there was
So,
always a
yeah.
connotation, a negative connotation
yeah,
attached to
yeah.
locks. But she was a professional. She and Kyle, but
Yep.
that's mine.
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
said that one because as business women, that's so important to be able to embrace your hair and know that just because my hair is natural doesn't mean it's not professional.
Right.
And I forgot about
Right.
that. So good.
I'm gonna go with Sanaa Lathan.
Yes.
Because every
Yeah.
version of her natural hair is beautiful to me. From when
Yes.
she went bald to the curls. Every time she does it, she just does it well. But you won because that point of her merging the locks with being an attorney in that role was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sanaa Lathan has a TV show not a TV show, a movie on Netflix where she cuts off all her hair
Right.
and she
Happily Ever
becomes
After.
Happily Ever After.
Yeah,
Right.
based on the book.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
And
she
so
went natural on that movie.
She went from having her mom press her hair and wear weave to actually embracing her natural hair. So I don't know. You and Natalie might be tied tonight.
I'll take it.
It's all good. It's all good. So we have a certified Empress expert tonight.
Yes, you guys, I get so excited about this segment. This is something that we implemented this year, the certified expert, where we bring in someone that can not only help the viewers, but that also helps the guests. So today we have a certified natural hair and curls expert that is going to help Toya show how you can use your tools when you pick them up from Target at home.
Yes, when you pick them up from Target or Target.com, they have it
Or
shipped to you
Target.com.
if you don't want to go to the store. It's okay. Exactly. So our expert is Sharra Spann. So a little bit about Sharra. Sharra is the owner of a little off-the-top hair salon here in Pinecrest, Florida. Sharra is, as Sharon said, she is a curl specialist and she focuses on naturally curly and textured hair. She is a graduate of Robert Morgan's technical school, and she also went to Peter of London's cosmetology school. She studied there as well. So Sharra, thank you for being here. And let us introduce our wonderful, beautiful model, Fallon, who's so gracious to allow Sharra to do her hair for us on the show.
And thank you, Sharra, for hosting us today.
Yes, we are
at hair
in.
salon
That's right.
testing out the tools.
That's
And wait, can I
right.
just say that this space is absolutely beautiful
Yes.
and welcoming,
Yes.
and
And
everyone
peaceful.
in South Florida should come and check this out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys.
It's really accessible too, right on US 1.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the bikes. I just think that was, what made you think of that? Like, she has bikes up in the air at the top. You can't see it in our frame, but she has vintage bikes up. And I don't know, it just makes you feel like home. Yes, Alan.
It's so funny you mentioned the bike. So when we were doing like the aesthetics look, like bikes kept coming into play. I'm like, oh my God, I like that bike. That'll look nice in the salon. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, let me look up like the meaning of bikes, and the meaning was balance. And I was like, okay, more bikes. Yes, we need balance, yes. And my son being only one, when I signed the lease to his place, it was a lot going on, at the
Balance.
time. So balance was like my main thing, you know. So the fact that, you know, bikes came into the picture, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's a must.
And you opened 2 weeks before the pandemic.
2 weeks before the pandemic. Absolutely.
Talk about a faith test.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It
But
was
you're
one of the
still open 2 years
so
into
grateful.
the pandemic.
So grateful that I
Yes.
came out on the other side of this, because I know a lot of business owners didn't.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
So absolutely, for
That's
sure.
right.
So we love your creativity, and we love that it's going to match the creativity that Toya and her sisters had when they created this project. So,
I'm gonna walk through it a little bit, get a little demonstration.
well, can you show us what Natalie was talking about with the tail of this tool?
The brush.
Amazing. So yes, when it comes to parting, not a big deal at all, and especially when you're doing it on your own hair. I'm sure the problem area in the back is easy to, you know, access. But like one of the main things about this brush that I realized is like the detangling process is not that much shedding. So a lot of brushes, you know, I'm detangling, and at the end I have to like clean the brush several times. You know, this literally goes straight through, and I appreciate that as a stylist. You know.
So less clogging in the shower.
That's
Right.
it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
So one of the things, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but when she was going through the section, you can see how the teeth were able to completely penetrate the hair.
Right.
A lot of times when we detangle our hair, it's like very surface, like the
Right.
teeth are like on the top of the
Is
section.
that
Right,
because
'cause
of
it won't
how
go.
thick the teeth are?
That and they're long. So we
Right.
intentionally made them really long so
yeah,
you can
yeah,
get through
yeah.
thicker sections of hair at one time and still be gentle. And then also the teeth are completely round and smooth like your fingers. So on most hair tools, the teeth are like shaped like a square, where they're like flat on the front and then flat in between. So curly hair,
Gosh.
as Sharra can tell you, is weakest where it bends.
Right.
So anything that will like snag or potentially like cause an issue as the hair is gliding through causes it to pop. And then so that's why they're round. So the hair is able to kind of like glide through as
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
combing.
yeah. So you lose less hair.
So Sharra,
And it's so
the
funny-
parts that you have clipped up, can you show the difference between how her hair looked after it was wet versus once
Right.
you used the comb?
Absolutely.
How
And-
defined the curls are on the other side now?
Right. And it's so funny
Wow.
that she mentioned the pieces are like your fingers, because literally, you know, I'm brushing and then I do it in my fingers. It's literally the same curl. I love it.
Okay, so I definitely want to go get one. Can you go to any Target, or are there select Targets?
So we're
or-
in over 250
Yes.
Targets across the states. So we're
Come
pretty
to
much in, we're in all of like the major like urban, because of course they wanted to pair us with the Targets that makes the most sense for our
Right.
products.
Right.
Right.
So that's why we're in about 250. So all the major cities, we're there, DC, Philly, all across South Florida, Texas, LA, yeah.
Plus, they can get it on your website, right?
Or go to Target.com.
And you can have it shipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that's great is that although our show is about empresses, women, there are a lot of men who have natural hair and can
Absolutely.
benefit from this tool as well.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of male customers who actually bought our original one. So in Q4 of last year, we came out with like a black on black version of our hair tools. So then that way guys felt more comfortable with it. But we had guys who bought our original color because we only sold our cobalt color, which Sharra's using our new pool, like we call it Miami Vice. Because it's like a Miami Vice color combo. But guys would buy our original blue one and it was fine. Like for instance, Dwight, who's here in Miami, he was one of our first male buyers, and he uses it on his beard.
I was gonna say that the other comb
Because it's so
makes sense
thick.
for your beard.
Yeah, he uses the pick on his beard, so he actually has like two. I don't know, he may have more at this point, but I know he has two. And he would keep like one in the car, and then he would have one in the house to like do his beard.
just comb
So a
through.
lot of guys like it because usually beard combs or like picks kind of like snag and pop the hair on their face. So he loves it because it kind of like glides through. So no, we have guys who have like really big hair who uses them, and yeah.
Do we have the other one that you're talking about?
It's right there.
And the reason she said Dwight to us because he is our former senator. So I think that's really interesting because he's in this very political, professional arena, and yet he uses this to groom and tame his hair. So that tells you how it's not just for the eccentric person, but it goes through all different types of, you know, cultures and careers. So.
And even with like extensions and wigs, a lot of our HSN hosts when they go on air, they wear wigs to protect their hair because they're always in front of the camera and everything like that. So they always talk about how they love the hair tool because it doesn't pull the wig hair out as much, and it keeps the curl pattern or whatever the style is on the wig longer. So it just helps them to maintain it. So that's something too when you're thinking about extension care or wig care for those who like a protective style. You want to prolong your investment in that hair as much as possible. So yeah, so the hair tools will work for that too.
And your daughter's gonna be stealing yours for her natural hair.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the comb in particular. That's going to be perfect.
Right.
We use picks now, but they clearly this is perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say after after I curl definition my clients and they dry under the dryer, I always pick to give like that max volume. So this like really comes in handy. Like y'all did y'all thing.
How many tools in total do you guys have in the market right now?
So we have the 3. And we have them available in 4 colors. So we have our original cobalt, blue, and pink. We have this one, which is like our pool color in pink. We have a graphite and black. And then we have a reverse of our original, which is pink and blue.
I think Fallon's gonna have a date tonight. You gonna text your husband? You like, I can't go home after this.
Go, honey, get off work. It is time to go. In the streets. Hey, this is going to look amazing. I keep looking in the mirror. I can't stop looking. And I want all these products. I was thinking about. I need 6.
Right, so that everybody
And the card. And the card.
That's so important for us to have multiple tools. That's right.
Yeah. Like, even for me, the pick, I have it in almost every purse just because it's so compact and it fits in everything.
Exactly, yes.
And being here in Miami, your hair changes throughout the day. So you have like adjustments with the humidity and
because you
everything.
leave real cute and then come noon.
You make it to noon. Give me an hour.
Right. Well, the back makes it to noon. This is gone at like 9. Yeah.
Well, if you want to see Fallon's hair in an hour, Fallon, you have to make sure you take a picture and send it to us. We'll post it on our page and our story so that you can see the before, during, and after of how this product works. Now, I think, Neidy, you talked about something when you first got here because everyone fell in love with Neidy when she first started co-hosting with us because
With
she
her
had big
curls.
curls,
Yes,
right? So then she comes in today and she's like, girl, I can't wear my straight hair today. So explain this, Neidy, because I think a lot of us have this problem.
Yeah.
Wanting to,
Or have had it.
or had it, right?
I just think that the hair journey is really personal to everyone because it's really tied to our identity. So now I have now done the big chop 3 times because I've had to do it after every pregnancy. My kids have just robbed me of my hair. And I may have to do it again because as you can see, like the curls are gone. So it's like this wave that you have to be on. It's like an emotional roller coaster.
It is.
So that's why I thought that this was going to be a great conversation because hair is just really important. I'm sorry, I know that probably sounds superficial, but
No, but no,
It's
it
your
is.
crown.
it's really your crown, and when it doesn't look right, you don't feel as confident, right? So this conversation is super timely.
Yeah. Sharra, how can you help us with that? Because Neidy was saying you have straightened your hair for the holidays.
So I straightened my hair from like Christmas to like maybe like a week ago, and just that time frame, like I've lost the curls.
Right.
They're so ungrateful. I've been like like buying the most expensive because you know products change, right? What works this month won't work next month. So all the product combinations, and then just 3-4 weeks that I
know.
put heat on it, and they're like deuces.
I think they're mad with you since you straightened
They're like,
it.
they're like, oh, you want straight hair? We got you.
She got straight
You
hair.
want to try that, boo?
Let me try. Like I got you. Let me show you something. No, for sure. And it's so funny. So many clients go through that. You know, and I always say it's so crazy how you spend years growing your hair out, and all it takes is like a
few
second
weeks.
for heat to hit it. But I always recommend a heat protectant. Like it's so important to use some kind of heat protectant just as that barrier of heat, you know. And I wouldn't recommend straightening your hair for so long, such a long period. You know, every now and then it's perfect, you know, don't get me wrong. But for, 3 weeks straight, that would definitely give it
I
some
tried
more.
it. I tried it.
I know.
But you know what? It's like a cycle. We'll come back, in 4 months, it'll hopefully be back.
Right. And that's
Speaking of hair, of the protectant, do you see yourself expanding beyond the tools?
So Yes, eventually.
Listen, we need you.
Attentive. I am ready. I'm waiting.
You know, we have so many things that we want to do in terms of elevating the wash day experience, if you will, in terms of the tools and the accessories that we need to make it a better experience. So I would say products, yes, but that's a little bit further down the line. We have some other stuff we still need to do on this side of the game.
I know, and the intellectual property attorney asked her that, you know, she can't give up her genius yet. Isn't she supposed to guard it?
Well, she's absolutely supposed to guard it. Curious minds want to know. Like, I am curious here. I'm looking at these tools. I can only imagine what they'll do with other products. So.
Well, let me piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
Sharra, how can Toya and her sisters get their tools in more hair salons? It's great to have it in Target and these places, but a lot of times we look to the expert, our hairstylist, to know what tools we should use. So what's the best way to help people get in the actual salon?
I mean, honestly, I would just say advertising, or even, you know, just collaborating, you know, getting together in the community. Like, even, it's funny, I, you know, hadn't heard about it until Sharon, you know, introduced me to you guys, and I was like, from like our part of town? Like, you know, that's crazy, you know? So now, no, instantly I was like, hello, can I carry them? You know, we'll talk later about that. And I, you know, I would love that, because again, like you said, when curly girls come in, you know, they're all, the trust is in you, you know, so in every product you recommend, everything you suggest, they're gonna do it, you know? So, and it works, and that's the thing about it. The tools work, so I don't think it'll be any problem, you know, with salons reaching out to carry them.
And Fallon, how does it feel when?
Amazing. Listen, I am in heaven. Because I am one of those where, you know, the hair is long, it is thick, and it takes me 2 hours.
See, that's
to
ridiculous.
wash. Listen, I'm over it. There's so many times where I'm just ready to do a salon lengthen and just
Right.
and then go like, oops.
Right.
Girl, what's wrong with you? And I have that issue, like you said, where I'm on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
I literally feel like I have like 4 different textures of hair.
Yeah.
I'm like Dominican, and then she's like Puerto Rican, and she's like here, she's just like, ooh, girl. You know? Right. We don't want any part of collaborating with you or cooperation. No, thank you. And so all of this up here will look nice with a twist out, and then in the back, it just goes poof.
Yeah.
And these are the untold stories, right? So when you walk out and you look fabulous, what people don't know is that you just invested 2 hours into washing your hair.
And I only got an hour of a quick selfie, okay, in the car with the AC on, because the moment I hit the door and the door opened,
The humidity.
and I started to have to run to the car, but not run, because honey, if I sweat,
In moderation. In moderation.
Hell no, if you sweat, you bust a sweat, it's a wrap. It's gone. So you have to quickly, not quickly, okay? Get to your vehicle, turn on the AC, or push, honey, we have to push start.
And that's the only reason why I got to push start for my hair.
Saved my life. Makeup is on point, hair is there, I can sit down and cheese. Oh, wait, let me get 3 more, just getting the lighting right. Okay. And then you can post, and then that's it.
And that's it.
Once you post, it's over.
It's over.
Look, I feel like we left Sharra out when we did the game. So you got another game for Sharra?
I do. It's not really a game, but Sharra, can you share with us an interesting, funny story of a client that was probably unreasonable, or just anything like a hair journey?
Right. So
Wait, Sharra, it's a game though, so you can't just answer it.
No, you have to tell us a story.
And you only get
I forget.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
We want to know what she was wearing though.
I got it.
Like
2
the
minutes.
whole night.
It has to be a story. Like, take us there.
can we make sure she's not watching?
No names will be used. No names.
So once upon a time, a curly girl came into the salon, and she was nervous about getting her hair colored for the first time.
Okay.
So I assured her, look, I wouldn't do anything to your hair that would jeopardize your texture. Like, look, we got this. If you want to do sessions, we can do sessions. Long story short, I applied her color. She was processing. I double booked her. So as she was processing, I was working on a client. I finished my client and went to take to her, washed out her color, and her color was washed out already. Homegirl had went to the bathroom and washed her hair because she said she was nervous. She thought it was over processing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I assured her, look, clearly you don't trust me.
Right.
So maybe we're not a match, you know, maybe next time, you know, we'll have more of a trust. But I told her I didn't feel right, you know, continuing our service. 2 years later, she came back. We had that discussion. We had closure of that situation. And now she's my now she's my returning client, and everything's good. But it's funny because before that, I never had like a crazy story like that. So I felt like I needed that. You know, to be able to answer questions like this. Exactly, right.
Such a time as when we were going to show up.
Exactly. So please, when you go get your hair colored, guys, don't trust your stylist. Don't go to the bathroom and wash your hair, because then we got to clean the product out of the sink in the bathroom. You know, it was interesting.
Trust your stylist and trust people who are doing the research to bring you tools that will help your hair. So thank you, Toya, for doing that. Where can they find you to learn more about these new products and tools that are coming?
So you can find us at Kazmaleje, so that's KAZMALEJE.com, at Kazmaleje on all social channels. And then Target, HSN, Urban Outfitters, and then a variety of different beauty supply stores and salons across the country. And then of course we'll be right here at a little off the top.
So we want to give a special thanks as we close out, guys. The show is over. Like
It went so fast.
It really did.
So fast. But we want to give a special thanks to Latoya, to Latoya's mom, who's offset, and Latoya's sister. Thank you all so much for joining us. Fallon, thank you again for allowing us to use you as our live doll.
Our live doll.
I love that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Shara, thank you for being such a great hostess and allowing us into your space tonight.
It was a pleasure. Thank you guys.
Shara, where can they find?
Yes.
Yeah, where can they find you and the salon?
Okay, so me, Instagram and Facebook at Sharra Spann, and the salon, Instagram and Facebook, a little off the top hair studio. Yeah.
Neidy, where can we find you?
I am at Guardier Genius on all social platforms.
And that's so that they can put, what does Neidy tell us? Legalities before creativity,
Yes,
right? She's
legalities
like,
Right. Don't let excitement overshadow strategy.
Yes.
you better come through.
You,
with
all
them.
right
Latoya's
now.
a perfect example of doing the things right and in
the right
order.
way.
Make sure it's protected.
We did IP early.
Yes. Perfect example.
That was your first bill.
Yes.
It was.
Yes, and you see how it pays off, like by doing it in order. So that's a perfect example. Thank you for sharing. Sharon, where can we be found?
You know, she always
we at?
gives me that question.
Always.
You can find us. Let me tell you, when you find us, we need you to help us by following it, liking it, and subscribing to our YouTube at Enterprise Empress. And do the same for these ladies. We're out here making things happen in our community, and we need you to not just look at it, but follow it, subscribe, and like it.
Yes.
So go to Enterprise Empress. Oh, and don't forget to share it. Our black female entrepreneur producer in the back said, share it. So please make sure you share it as well.
Yes.
So where are you?
Enterprise Empress.
Oh, that's fine.
Everywhere. We're Enterprise Empress everywhere. On all the
YouTube,
platforms.
IG, Facebook, Enterprise Empress.
Yes. Yes. So that's it for tonight.
Thank
y'all.
you.
Don't forget to get your hair curl tool at Target.
Target.
HSN, Urban Outfitters, or Kazmaleje.com.
Thank you. Can we do a toast for kicking off Black History Month with Black Girl Magic, all these bosses in the house. Fallon is a business owner as well.
Yes.
You're going to put up that crown, just kind of shake it a little bit while we put up these flags. To the empresses in the world.
Yes.